A core purpose of macros is to inject code into modules to extend their behavior, define functions, and perform other code generation that's required. We are going to build a discount framework, and our goal here is to allow us to extend other modules with a discount macro. So the goal of our discount macro is to accept a discount name, a condition to be met, and an action we want to take if the condition is met. And then if a condition isn't met, we just pass the product through as is. So our macro will peek inside the representation of the discount in order to return the correct product output. And I want to just pull up an example here of what our final domain-specific language, our discount domain-specific language is going to kind of look like. And don't worry about entering any code here. We're just going to walk through what we see on the screen. So right now you see that we are just in a module called My Discounts, and we are pulling in our macro here called discount. All right. And the way this is going to work is it allows us to define our macro, our discount here with a name, and then our condition to be met, and then the action we're taking. And in this case, the condition that we're going to meet and the action taking are functions that we're passing in. So this is pretty cool. So inside of our module, we can define a whole list of discounts, just whatever we want. And so we could even reuse these functions, whatever they are. It could be, we could be looking for free shipping, give a special discount if a specific category is there. And so this is what we're going to build. And then underneath this module, that simple implementation is just an IEX shell of how it is going to be used. So we would define our product here. In this case, we have a name, a category, and a price. And right now we have one discount. So if the discount is over $100, we apply the 10% discount. And the way we would use this is we just call our My Discounts module and apply discount and send the product in. And apply discount is just an extended function that we're getting from the macro macro module that we created. And then it returns the product back, and the price is now 10% less. So that's cool. And this is what we're going to build. Let's go ahead and just jump right in. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the terminal, command space terminal. All right. And let's CD to the desktop and create a new project. So mix new, and we'll call this project discount _ macro. No, discount DSL. Okay. And then we can just CD into that project discount _ DSL, and then let's go ahead and open up VS Code. I'll close that welcome tab. Module extension is just code injection. So most meta programming in Elixir is done within module definitions to extend other modules with extra functionality. So let's make an extend macro for applying discounts by using only what we've learned in the first video so far. So I'm going to just create a new file here, and I'm going to call it discount _ ext.exs. And then inside this, we'll define our module. So def module. And the name of our module is just discount capital EXT. All right. And now inside of this, we are going to create a macro like we have in the past. And I'm just going to call this macro. So def macro, we'll call this extend, and then do end block. And then we need to add our quote block. So our quote block, and remember what quote does is turns our AST, so our abstract syntax tree, right? And now we're going to do something that you probably haven't seen before. We're going to say import, and then we have to unquote because we're injecting our module here. And then so inside of unquote, we're going to do __, and then all caps module, and then __. And this is probably a new syntax for you. So when we use the underscore underscore module underscore underscore, we are dynamically importing the current module that we are in. So we're importing just discount ext. And if we were to rename our module from discount ext to something else, we wouldn't have to refactor all the code inside the module. So it dynamically grabs the module name when you do it this way. And we are importing the module, so we have access to any macros or functions within our module. So within discount ext, from the module we plan to extend with this macro. And then we don't have to prefix discount ext before using the functions inside. And we'll get to that in just a second to show you how that would work. Inside of this quote block, we want to create a function. And we're going to create a function called apply underscore discounts. And what this is going to do is it's going to take a product and then apply our discounts. So we're going to pass in a product here and then do our do and end block. And I'm going to just do an IO puts here. So we have text output in our Elixir shell when we're testing it. And I'm just going to say applying discounts ... And then underneath here, we're just going to use a case statement. So you know how to use these. We've gone over this previously in this course. And we're going to look at our product here. And then our first case statement is when the product, so we're looking at the product and we need to know, we're going to use a guard here. So when our product dot price is greater than 100, we want to take a 10% discount. And so we can just do map update, and then we're going to pass in our product and we're going to update the key price. And then we're going to just go ahead and use our shorthand version here. And the price is the first argument because it's just a single variable under price. It's not like a tuple or anything. So we can just do and 1 and then say times 0.9. So we're taking 90% of our price. And since it's a case statement, if it doesn't match anything, we want to just return our product untouched. So we're kind of following what we want to aim for, right? We're checking to see if a condition is met. If a condition is met, we perform an action on it, okay? So in this case is if the product is more than $100, we perform a 10% discount on it, and that's our action. So now if we were to use this code, this macro from another module, how would we do that? So underneath, now you could just create a new file, but I'm going to just create a module here so we can just see everything in one file. But we're just creating another module, so def module, and we're going to call this just product for now. It doesn't matter what we call it really. Oop, I gotta spell it right though. So in our module product, we need to import our discount ext macro so we can use it. So we're going to say require discount ext, okay? Then we need to call our extend macro. And what that will do is it will automatically return our abstract syntax tree containing the apply discounts definition so we can use that function. So we actually have to now do discount.ext.extend. Okay. So if I save this and we pull up our terminal again, we can just go ahead and compile our discount underscore ext file with a, first we have to go IEX space capital S mix. So we need to start our Elixir shell. I just cleared it, so we're at the top. Now we can see better. And so now to compile this file, we're just going to do C, and then inside of double quotations, we're going to say discount underscore ext.exs. And this is going to compile our macro or this file for us. So it's actually compiling two of our modules. And now let's go ahead and create a product. So our product is going to be a map. So go ahead and do %, and then inside of curly braces, we're going to have a name, and we'll call this leather handbag in quotations. And then we want a category here, and we'll call this that it's an accessory. Accessories, okay. And then we want a price, and this is going to be $120. And then when I hit enter, now we have our product in our shell. So if I type in product, we get that map back. And now to use our macro, all we have to do is, so let's look back at this. So we want to use product, which is requiring our macro. And since we ran extend, we have access to apply discounts from our product module. So we're going to say now product.apply discounts. And then we can just pass in our product. And then when we hit enter, what did I do? Product.apply discounts. We're not handling for an error, so let's try that. And map key function. Okay, let's save that, recompile. And now if we run our apply, there we go. So we get our product back. So we see our little message applying discounts. We get our product back. And you also notice that our price is now 10% lower. So it went from $120 to $108. So this is pretty cool. We're extending functionality to another module just using def macro and quote. Now you may have noticed in many other Elixir libraries, the use of the use syntax. Now, use is a common API for module extension. The use macro provides a common API for module extension. So when you do use discount ext, it invokes the discount _ using macro. And this just, so basically it would allow us, if we were to invoke the using macro, all we have to do here is instead of saying def macro extend, we need to just do _ using _ and this takes a single parameter of options, but we're not going to use it, so we can just do _ options here. And now what this does is instead of using require here, require discount ext, we're going to say use.
Hi, I'm Jacob. My YouTube channel and podcast reach thousands of engaged Elixir developers every month. If you're looking to promote your developer tools, services, or job opportunities to a focused audience of Elixir professionals, head to elixirmentor.com and let's discuss sponsorship options.
And when we replace the require with use in the product module, what's really nice here is the using macro automatically gets invoked now because we're using the use macro. And so we no longer have to call our macro extend like we were when we were just requiring. So we can actually delete this line of code. And now this using macro automatically gets invoked and we'll have access to this function still. So let's go ahead and save this and go back to our terminal. I'm going to clear this again so we can see. And let's go ahead and just compile this again. So there we go. We recompile it and we still have our product saved. So now if we do product.apply discounts, we can still pass in our product and we get the same response back. So we're still getting our 10% discount automatically on our price. But now we're using the using macro and we didn't have to manually call our macro anymore. This method using a case statement obviously isn't super useful for us, especially in the sense of creating a macro that can be leveraged by anyone using it. We need the ability for a user to define multiple discounts that accept a name condition, and action. So how can we do this? Elixir has module attributes that will help us with this use case. And module attributes allow us to basically to store data in the module at compile time. Elixir allows us to use the option accumulate true when registering an attribute, allowing us to keep an appended list of registrations during the compile phase as well. So we can actually have, all of our discounts get appended to our attribute list at compile time so we can have access to them all. Okay, so how would this look? Let's create a new file. We're just going to call this discount.exs, and our def module will also be just called discount. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do our def macro, and invoke, we're going to use the using macro here. So __ using __, and that is going to take options, an options parameter that we do not need. So go ahead and put an underscore in front of it. And then we need our quote block, and we're going to import our module just like before. So unquote to inject it, if I can type, and then go ahead and do module all caps. Okay. And so now we're exactly where we were before. So if you look back here at this example, that is, now we're just trying to make this a little more flexible and more customizable for a user to invoke their own discount definitions, right? But we need to use the register attribute to store our discount macros right before compile time. So how we're going to do that is right underneath import, we can use a built-in, we can say module dot register attribute, and we have to pass in the module name, which is, __ module. So we can dynamically pass in our module. And then we want to pass in the name of our module attribute. And it needs to be an atom. So in our case, we're going to name it discounts because it's going to be a list of discounts. And then the last option that we need to pass in accumulate, which takes a Boolean, and we want it to be true. And so this allows us to accumulate multiple attributes into our list. But if we allow it to accumulate it, we can have a whole list of discount attributes stored in our module at compile time. And then we need our function still. So we need our apply discounts function. So def apply _ discounts, and then do an end block. And for now, we're just going to do an IO puts. So we have a text output that says we're applying the discounts. And then we're just going to, we want to just inspect our module attribute. Okay. So we're going to say inspect, and then our at discounts. Okay. So at discounts will be a list of our module attributes. Okay. And then let's see, underneath our using block, but inside the discount module still, now we're going to create our discount macro. So we're going to say def macro, and this is going to just be called discount. And our discount takes a name, a condition, and an action, right? So we're going to say name, condition, and action. All right, there we go. And then do an end. And then we need a quote block. So we return our AST, our abstract syntax tree. And then inside of this is a very easy macro to write. All we need to do is say at discounts. So this is our module attributes, and what the discounts attribute is going to look like is inside of curly braces, we need the name, condition, and action, and we need to unquote them because we have to inject these values. So unquote, and then name, comma, and then unquote, I can't spell, unquote, condition, and then unquote, action. Okay. And what's happening here is we're registering a discounts attribute with the accumulate option, right? So right up here. And then in our stubbed apply discounts function, we are inspecting our discounts attribute right here. This is our stubbed apply discounts function. And then when we define our discount macro, we define our name, condition, and action functions in the discounts module attribute. So that is why this is in front of it, okay? And so now we can actually create our discounts module where we can use this macro. And so underneath, outside of the module, we're going to create a new module called def module, and we're going to call this one discounts. And the reason we're calling this one discounts is because this is going to be where we list all the discounts that we want in our specific use case, right? So we're going to use the macro, so use our discount macro. And so we're just using the name of this module like that, okay? And then we automatically get access to our discount macro. And how do we create our rules now? So we want a condition, just like our last example. If a product price is over $100, then the action we want is we want it to apply a 10% discount. So we're going to create two functions here that we can pass in to our macro. And our first function is going to be is over 100 ? And we're putting the question mark on the end because a Boolean is going to be returned. And that's just, you know, how Elixir likes us to do it. And then we're going to pass in our product. And then our do block is just going to check that our product dot price is greater than 100. And if it is, it'll return true. Super. And so if it returns true, now we need a function to apply the 10% discount. So we're going to say def and then apply underscore 10% discount. And this takes a product map as well. And then when we apply it, we just want to use map.update, and then we pass in the product that we're updating, the key that we need to update, which is price, and then we're going to just grab the first variable from price because there's only one, and the shorthand is that, so and then opening and closing parentheses, and then and 1. And then we just multiply by 0.9. So we're taking 90% of 100%. So now that we have these two functions, I'm going to put them underneath our macro. Now we can create our macro with them. So we can just call discount. And now our macro takes three things. The first one is a name. And we're going to call our name. So over 100 is the name of our discount. And then we need to pass in the condition. So we can pass in the name of our function as an atom and it will know what we're doing. So we can say is over 100. That's our condition. And then we can pass in the action to take after that. And so we're going to say apply 10% discount. All right. Oh, we need it to be an atom. Awesome. And then, so there we go. We created our first discount using our discount macro, and we're passing in a name and then a condition that must be met and then the action to take. Okay. So now let's go ahead and save this and go back to our terminal and let's test this out. So let's first, we need to compile our discount.exs file. Def macro is spelt wrong. I always do that. So def macro. Okay, there we go. And then let's go back to our terminal. what now? Undefined variable product. I have another typo. Man, I'm having a rough one. Product. All right, there we go. Save it. Back to our terminal. Clear it so we can see better. And now let's compile. There we go. All right, so now we can actually see what functions are available to us in our discounts module where we're using our discount macro, right? So if we do discounts dot underscore info underscore and then pass in the Atom functions. When I hit enter, we're going to see all the available functions to us. Okay, so there we go. We see a list of our functions. So you see our apply 10% discount, arity of 1, which means it takes one parameter. And then you see our extended function we get from our macro called apply discounts. And currently it has an arity of 0 because we're not passing in anything yet. And then you see our other function we created is over 100. And that's an arity of 1 as well. So now when we call discounts dot apply discounts, we should get our IO puts, our applying discounts, and then we should see our module attributes. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So if we say discounts dot apply discounts, and when I hit enter, okay, so we see our IO puts applying discounts, but our module attributes are empty.